Hello, I have not got my mic muted, I don't think. Welcome back to another stream. The first proper stream, I guess you could say, for the 2020-21 season. Did do a kind of live reaction. I think I did a live, I did a live reaction stream when FPL first went up. But this is like proper now. We are less than a week away from the deadline. I'm looking at the chat to make sure I'm not muted like last time. I'm going to tweet out that I'm live. We're looking good. We're feeling good. I'm excited. Game week 1 is almost here. Almost here. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff we're going to go around in circles on today. There'll be another stream before the deadline anyway. There'll also be deadline streams, hopefully every single game week this season as well. So last year I did them sometimes. This year I'm hoping it'll be every single game week. So we'll see on that. No polls. No polls. Let's not even get into that. Also, no internet, by the way. All that happiness I had for new internet, it doesn't look like it's happening. I'm being screwed over, but we won't get into that because, look, streams still work most of the time anyway, so I guess we can't be too annoyed. I love you, but the United stand is live. But what do they know about FPL? Come on, you don't want to go over there. I bet you won't give me a shout-out. You bet right I'm not going to give you a shout-out. Did I buy a new t-shirt? No, this is the only one I have. You missed the polls. I do too, but there's no way to do them for YouTube anymore, so it kind of sucks. I'll tell you what, I won't give you a shout out, but I will mute you for spamming. Oh, someone's already done it. Thanks very much, Physio. Where's the dog? The dog is kind of looking sad and bored downstairs because she's been fed, she's been exercised. She's just waiting to sleep, really. She's not really bored. She's just like knackered, so she's going to sleep. Where can I get the chat up? I don't know. Do I think... yeah, we're going to talk through all these questions like Vinagre, Chelsea players... why Calvert-Lewin's the best forward in FPL. We're going to talk about all that. I'm going to show you my current draft. Look, it's not the end. It's not the final draft, but it's getting closer. The 4-3-3 I put out on Twitter, it's not going to happen because I just don't want two £4.5 million midfielders. So, how has my day been? It's been pretty good. I was a little bit hungover, which kind of sucks. But I took the dog to the woods again, let her off the lead. The only bad thing is she got a little bit more ambitious. There was a couple of times when she was like... just like on the edge basically of where she shouldn't have been, and she's not quite trained to like come to us when we say like here yet. She does do it sometimes but not all the time, and that's the problem. Is Havertz a good pick? Yeah, we're going to talk about all that. So one thing I want to say first, right, and I know everybody is bored, but I want to do this at the start of the stream. I know everybody is bored of hearing me go on about subscribers, right? But 100,000 is honestly a dream. I never thought I would get anywhere near 100,000, and I genuinely think now it's on, right? I'm pretty confident by the end of the season we're going to hit 100,000. But I think we can hit it much sooner than that, looking at the way it's going, right? We're nearly at 80,000 subscribers. Basically, for every single video I put out, there's like 50% of people watching that haven't hit subscribe. Some of my videos have hit 100,000 views. Imagine if 50% of those people hit that button, right? So here's the incentive that I'm going to bring up on screen before we get into all the questions and stuff, okay? So here's the challenge, right? And I know most of you will be subscribed. That's why you're already in. We've only just started. But for anyone that's not, here we go. So the league code is on screen, 7QPRKQ, right? That's my league code. Go and join it. It's completely free to enter. It's the public league. And there's an auto join link in the description as well, right? So, £100 I'm going to add to the league winner. I don't usually give away money, but I'm going to do that this year. So there's a trophy as well, which I can actually get. It's right here. I don't know how well it will show up on screen because of the green screen. Plus it's wrapped. But there's a trophy, right? Let's Talk FPL winner, okay? So the winner gets that. That's all I was going to give away. We'll add £100 on. If we get to 100k subs by the end of October, so basically nearly a month, I'll make it up to 250. If we can get 100k subs by the Game Week 1 deadline, which I know is a big ask, but it is possible with the amount of people watching my videos, it'll be £500. So if you're watching this, you haven't hit subscribe, you're enjoying my content, but if for whatever reason you've not hit that button, which so many people do because it shows up on the home screen, you click on it, you forget about that subscribe button, job done. If you've not already done it, hit subscribe, go and join the league. It's free. Both things are free. Joining the league is free. Hitting subscribe is completely free. What more could you want? So you're going to hear about this on every single video this week. Not for this long probably, but it's a stream, you know. Things are a bit different. So there we go. Up to £500 if we can get to 100k subscribers by Game Week 1. And I'm telling you it's possible with the amount we've had so far. I've been looking at the numbers. It's possible. It's ambitious, but it's possible. Right. There we go. The trophy, yeah, the trophy's got no green because it's been cut out by the green screen. So there we go. So that's it. I'm excited. FPL is nearly back. I love doing this. Okay, what else? What else is there? Oh yeah, no, we'll do the rest of the stuff later. Let's just bring the team up, right, so everyone can slate it. I will talk about my team a bit, but let's be honest, this is not going to be final just yet. And ignore the captain. Oh, man, I should change the captaincy actually, shouldn't I? Because otherwise I'll be asked questions about it all day. I don't want to like just spend forever on my team because I know there's going to be. There's going to be loads of other questions, right? I don't even know what to say. I got the league thing out of the way, and I don't know what I'm doing. If you don't subscribe now, I don't know what you're waiting for. Exactly, right? Come on. I will ring each family member and make them subscribe. You're absolute legends. Honestly, the support has been huge since I've been back. Like over 1 million views in the last 28 days, which has not happened before outside of kind of when game week 1 comes around. Like next week will be really busy, and that happened last year, but not in pre-season, right? It's absolutely insane. So thanks very much. I don't know, what do I need to look at? Do I need to look at the chat? I probably do, because otherwise how am I going to answer any questions, right? I feel like I'm getting a cold. That would suck. Okay. Anthony Gordon, the best 4.5 million mid. Yeah, I'll probably put him in. I'll be honest, right? I don't put too much thought into positions like £4.5 million midfielders and stuff like that, second goalkeepers. I'll decide all that just before the deadline probably, or before, by Friday or something like that. So yeah, Gordon could be the best £4.5 million midfielder. I might put him in. He's probably got the most upside as it stands right now. Darshan, thanks very much for that. No Antonio, Jimenez or Atsu. No faith for the wall. Antonio could make an appearance, right? So I have had, instead of Barnes and Ali, I've had Son and St. Maximin. That gives me 0.5 million more, so I could have Antonio instead. So that's something I've thought about. The other thing I would say, what a strange question. Have I heard of Katie Melua? I mean, I have, yeah, she's a singer, right? I haven't heard the name for a while. What a random question to be asking on an FPL stream. Maybe there's a reason for that. Is Vinagre... Okay, Vinagre, right? Let's talk about him because a lot of people are going to ask me questions about him. They've signed a new left-back, right? But let's be honest, this isn't a... I don't know much about him, right? I'll say that right from the start. Never really heard of him before. I think he's 31. He's come from Lyon, I believe. I just don't see why, Vinagre, who has played when Johnny's been out a lot of times before, not necessarily been out injured, but, replaced him during games and stuff, has started other games when Johnny's needed a rest. Not really done anything wrong. I've seen a few people saying he's not as good defensively. Look, fair enough. He's the backup at the end of the day. I don't necessarily think this new guy, 31, just been signed, by the way, like 6 days before they have to play, or 6 days before the deadline, is necessarily going to come straight in. It feels like way more of a backup, even for the backup. So he's not a left back, he's a left centre back. Yeah, some people have said actually size could be a problem with him. Anyway, I don't necessarily think it's a problem for... I don't know. I don't think he is a... I'll have to double check, right? I don't think he is left centre back. I think he's a left back that can play left centre back. A bit like... I mean, even someone like Justin at Leicester has played as a right centre back, right? And so is Azpilicueta, right? It's happened. But I think he is a left back. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure he is. So he is covered for the left back spot. But I still think Vinagre is going to start the season. And the reason I know it's annoying to have to spend transfers on £4.5 million defenders, but let's say he is still first choice while Johnny's out. Vinagre, this is. That is huge upside. £4.5 million for a Wolves defender is really, really good value, right? Especially with their fixtures. Sheffield United is a good fixture. Man City's tough, but from Game Week 3 onwards, it's great, right? So the downside of him maybe not being first choice while Johnny is out, I think is outweighed by the positives if he does play. So I'm going to take that risk. What I'm not going to do now, though, is start with like non-playing defenders or anything like that. Like Mitchell, I know is very short term. I think it's probably best to have him for now, or maybe Ferguson for when he comes back that can possibly cover. But I'm going for Vinagre, I think. You don't want to be wasting transfers on a 4.5 million defender. I don't, but my hunch is that he's going to be the first choice, so it's not going to be a transfer. If it is, look, fair enough. I've got Lamptey in. Brighton have got pretty good fixtures from, I think it's about Game Week 3 onwards. Where will I check? Do you know what? I've got 3 screens and I always feel like I need more. How ridiculous is that? So yeah, Newcastle's okay in Game Week 2 for Lamptey. Then Everton, Palace, West Brom from Game Week 4 to 6 is okay-ish. Then Burnley and I think they've got good enough fixtures to maybe cover. Well, I'm only playing a 3 at the back anyway. Salah versus Mane. I mean, Salah versus Mane feels like such a same conversation every single year now. I mean, it was even like Salah versus Mane when Salah was way more expensive. Now it's still the question when they're both the same price. Transfer plans is bank one in game week 2. Like my Man United plan is to basically wing it and just wait. I don't have a Man United plan. Like, I keep seeing the question is, how are you going to get Man United players in? The conversation should... I'm not saying people that get Man United players are wrong. And I cannot believe the tables have flipped. Usually I'm trying to convince everyone or convince myself to get Man United players and everyone's telling me they're rubbish. Now I'm saying I'm going without them. I'm getting berated for that a little bit. But the question shouldn't be, how are you getting them in? It should be, are they better options than the ones you've got? So, okay, in game week 2, they got Crystal Palace, right? So that is a really good fixture where a lot of other players don't have a similar, fixture. Like Werner, for example, plays Liverpool. After that, the fixtures are really good. So it's not how am I getting Martial? It's is Martial better than Werner? Maybe he will be, but I can start with Werner against Brighton, keep him for Liverpool, and then see after that. And the same with, let's say I do Barnes to St. Maximin or any other 5.5 million midfielder. Who cares who it is, right? I can do Ali to Son with this setup. Have 0.5 in the max. I can get Rashford, I can get Greenwood from Son. So, but then is Son going to, hit the ground running and do really well? Maybe, I don't know, 100%. We'll have to see how Spurs start playing. But if he does, do I need that Man United player? This is the thing. I'm not saying they're bad options. I'm just saying there are other options. So I don't really have a Man United plan right now. Is the chat going too fast? I can probably slow it down a bit. Is slow mode on? Slow mode might be on. Live chat. No, slow mode is not on. Do we need 2 minutes? We'll go 60 seconds, right? Because I don't think we need 2 minutes right now. So I'll put slow mode on. There you go. What was the other? Man United players suck. No, they don't suck. They don't suck. Don't kill me about that. Oh, I can't remember what we're going to say now. No, I don't know. Son or Ali? I think, to be honest, I would probably go Son. I know there's a little bit of hype for Ali, but I think I prefer Son still. But I mean, he's a million more, right? So it depends. Like Barnes and Ali versus Son and St. Maximin plus 0.5, that gets a bit tougher. One thing I'll say is on £5.5 million midfielders, of which the main reason I'm going to have a £5.5 million midfielder, which takes a long time to say, is I've toyed with going 4-3-3 because I do think there's really good value in defence. The problem is when you switch to a 4-3-3 or even a not necessarily a 4-4-2. Like if 4-4-2 works if Brewster leaves. If Brewster goes on loan to another Premier League club, then I think that's really good and I'll probably go 4-4-2. If you go 4-3-3, because there's quite a few cheap forwards that I like, the problem is you have to have two £4.5 million midfielders, and if I've also got Mitchell or a £4 million defender as well, the bench starts to look a bit iffy. So that's why I've gone 3-4-3. With the 5.5s, I'm still the same thing that I don't think there's a massive standout option where I have to buy them. I don't know, in certain positions you might see a particular price as a player that kind of stands out, right? In 12 millions, it could be Aubameyang for the first 2 game weeks. In 5.5s, I don't see that. Saka, maybe, but there's so much competition for those wing places. What I will say is St. Maximin, I'm not saying he creates anywhere near the amount of chances as Grealish, but when he does create them, who's he passing to? If they sign Callum Wilson and Jamal Lewis, and I think they've even been linked to Ryan Fraser as well, that might change my opinion a little bit of Newcastle, and St. Maximin might become my kind of go-to man, potentially. Yash, thanks very much. Jimenez and Havertz, or Werner and Greenwood? I think I prefer Werner and Greenwood. Havertz is a pretty tempting price at 8.5. But I think Werner is still the main man I would want there. I know he's a bit more expensive, and I'd want to see how the rest of them kind of play out, because Ziyech could be an option, Pulisic an option, maybe even the triple up at some point. But I think I prefer Werner and Greenwood. I think Jimenez for the first 2 you can do without, and then you can maybe reassess. That's my preference. Anyhow, thanks very much. I need to I wish when the super chats come up, I could put a disclaimer about what should be asked. It's really hard. I find it really hard to read teams through super chat. McCarthy, Trent, Robbo, double Liverpool defence, nice. You double in on Southampton defence. What's the question though? Bench thoughts. You've got Martial as well. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty strong team with Armstrong. You've got triple. One thing I would consider is you've got triple Southampton. So think about what are you going to do if you want to get Adams or Ings. You're not really going to want to spend extra hits taking out players. I wouldn't have McCarthy and Kyle Walker-Peters. I've got it. McCarthy and Lamptey or Ryan and Kyle Walker-Peters. Probably. Otherwise, really strong team. Sounds pretty good. And you got Martial in. And Gordon, like Physio says, probably the best 4.5. I don't think we should necessarily be expecting massive returns, but he's probably the only 4.5 that's got some potential to attack. The other 4.5s we should look at, I don't know if anyone saw my Fulham video on Scout, it sounds like it's going to be Reed plus one of the other 4.5, so we don't know if it's going to be Anguissa or Lamina yet. But whichever one of those two gets the nod will probably be a little bit more attacking, so they might be an okay option as well, but we're going to have to wait a sec. Do you think a computer could beat you at FPL? Absolutely. Like, think of all the models and stuff like this. You know, the people that finish high ranks all the time that use stats and stuff. They're just, they're using models essentially. A computer could definitely beat most of us. It sucks, but that's the truth. Obviously, it would all depend. I'm not smart enough to know how it would work, and it would need some human input. I guess if you made a computer program at the start of the season based on numbers from last year, for example, then yeah, maybe it'd find it tricky at certain situations because it wouldn't be able to react to certain stuff that we have. If it had a bit of human input as well, like this player's injured now or whatever, or this player's actually in way better form than they were last year, then maybe that could do it, but it would probably need a bit of human input. Joe, do I put any stock in Zaha's strong pre-season? Here's what I'll say about Zaha. At some point, he always looks like an option, and he almost never is a good option. I think he's had a price drop, hasn't he? So he's 6.5 million now instead of... he was 7 last year. Is he 6.5? I feel like I've got that right. Oh, no, he's still 7 million. My bad. I mean, first 4 fixtures include United, Everton, Chelsea. Like, I'd be going nowhere near him, to be honest. I would just see how it goes. I wouldn't be interested at all at that price. Any love for Lucas Digne? I've got him in currently. I like Everton, right? I think... I know everyone's looking... I still don't know how much weight to put on Gameweek 30 to 38. I was actually chatting in a Patreon Slack about this earlier. Right? And I'm not saying you should ignore it at all. And if you're going to use it for one team, I guess you should use it to all of them. But there are obviously different factors with different teams. Like Liverpool had already won everything, or had already won the league pretty much. So there's nothing for them to play for. So should you really look at 30 to 38 versus the whole season? Probably not. Everton have just signed. I think the signings have gone through. I'm kind of getting a bit lost with it. But James Rodriguez, about to say Jay Rodriguez, and Allen. And I think they're also close to Decore as well. Now, whether or not they're all going to be fit and available for Game Week 1 is difficult to know. But I think Everton were one of the, outside of the kind of the main 5 really good defences, Everton were around about the same numbers as Leicester last year. And attack-wise, they were okay as well. I think Everton look quite good, and the fixtures are decent too. So I like Lucas Digne. He is 6 million though, and depending on the kind of draft you're putting together, if I think about all the drafts I've put together so far, I would find it difficult to fit him in at that price. But I have had drafts with Doherty. Now, is Lucas Digne better than Doherty? That's a tough one. Because I do think Doherty improves that defence a little bit. But overall, I do like him. I'm not necessarily looking to try and fit him in my team. If I had a £6 million defender slot, then yeah, I think you can definitely look at him. Greenwood and Dyer or Justin and Ziyech. I think I prefer Greenwood and Dyer. I don't know what to make of Justin because Leicester's fixtures are so good. They're missing Ricardo, Chilwell now, obviously, and Maddison. Evans is suspended for the first 3 as well, which doesn't help. And plus, when Ricardo's fit, does Justin even play? There's talk, they could play 5 at the back. He could slot in as a right centre back, but they're also being linked with Tarkowski now as well. So they have Soyuncu, Tarkowski, Evans. Obviously, they've still got Morgan. Not that they're going to want to play him, but they've still got him. So I don't know about Justin long term. I think the injuries and suspensions would worry me a little bit. I've started to take him out of my drafts now, as you can see. Nihao, will Lamptey have competition from Veltman? Potentially. I've not hugely looked into that, to be completely honest. But there's a lot of... all I've seen from kind of Brighton fans is a lot of love for Lamptey, and he's going to get a good amount of starts. But if there was any worry about that, all I would do literally is just swap McCarthy and Lamptey around and just go Ryan and Kyle Walker-Peters is much safer. So that's potentially something I could do, that I have considered, to be honest. But I don't know enough about how much Veltman's going to play. If there's any Brighton fans in the chat, I'll shout them out if they let me know. Wolves just signed a new defender. Yeah, we talked about that. Okay, why do you have to wait with very offensive potential of Man United while you go with Werner, who plays Liverpool, and the whole team haven't played much together? Yeah, true. But Werner's I think Werner's just an excellent player that's come into a team that were also really, really good last year. And maybe Man United's attack isn't as good as people think it is. But yes, if you're thinking about Game Week 2 specifically, I'd rather have Martial than Werner. But as always, there's other game weeks after that. There's a few things I would say that I see people talk about. One is season total scores. They really don't matter. It doesn't. Maybe with someone like Robertson and Trent, if you're not looking to get rid of them, then yeah, they're probably 200-point players, 180 to 200-point players. You could just keep them all season. But we have transfers, so most of the time you're not going to have. If I look at that team now, how many players am I really going to have till the end of the season? Probably none of them. Maybe Salah. I don't know. But season totals don't matter, and you cannot have the perfect game. The perfect team every game week. Werner plays Liverpool, right? That's true. But then either side of that, he plays Brighton, he plays West Brom, he plays Crystal Palace, he plays Southampton. Then it's Man United, tricky. Then it's Burnley, Sheffield United, Newcastle. And even with all those fixtures, I don't have to keep him that long. If he is performing poorly, if it is taking time for Chelsea to gel, I'll just get Martial in, I think. Maybe Ings will be the one to get. Maybe Jimenez will be the one to get. So yeah, you don't have to have these players the whole time. I fully know with my defence, by the way, Game Week 2, with some of the defences I've put together, it looks very iffy for clean sheets. But again, after Game Week 2, clean sheet potential looks really good. So again, I'm going to probably have to take Game Week 2 on the chin a bit. Maybe a little bit better with Lamptey in there, but not ideal. Let me see. Greenwood bench Game Week 1 and Game Week 2 Ings to Martial. No issue. If you want two Man United players, why not? A lot of people are doing Ings to Martial. Actually, that's probably something I missed on the video I did earlier. Maybe one of the reasons Ings is so high is because he plays Crystal Palace and he can switch to Martial. A lot of people are probably thinking about that. Fraser has agreed to join Newcastle pending a medical. Ooh, very nice. I guess a good buy, especially if Wilson goes too. And apparently, Newcastle is Wilson's preferred destination. So there you go. They're going to speak to him. I'm sure he's going to sign a deal because if no other club's interested, why would he not come back to the Premier League? Liam, thanks very much. Ings or Martial and bench him for Game Week 1. I think it depends how many other transfers you think you're going to have lined up. I quite like the idea of going for Ings and then switching. Obviously, you might have to take a hit if there's other transfers you need to do, but I think trying to get the points for Ings in a good game against Crystal Palace and then probably swap. If you're happy enough with your bench who would have to play in Game Week 1, then maybe you save a transfer, but it really depends who else you've got in your squad, I would say. As a Chelsea fan, Azpilicueta sometimes starts over Reece. Thanks very much, George. Yeah, absolutely right. The reason James is in there, and I don't know if I'll go through it because I don't know how much of a risk taker I really am, but Chilwell is injured, right? We know he's going to miss the first few game weeks. So who's going to play left and right back? Will it be Alonso and Azpilicueta? Will it be James and Azpilicueta? I think there's a slight chance of that. Will they play 5 at the back? I don't know. The potential upside of Reece James is so good. I will say though, if he doesn't start, or even if he does, it's Liverpool in Game Week 2. Vinagre's got Man City, and Mitchell's got Man United, so it does get a little bit iffy. So I'm not sure about that. If I was to go somewhere else, it's Davis at Spurs potentially, or more likely, I might even just double up on Wolves and go for Sice. Ian, thanks very much. Barnes' performance has been ropey. Keeper. Is this Harvey Barnes? What do you mean his performance has been ropey? Not that I'm going to see the follow-up because the chat's going so quick. But I don't know. I think with Leicester, I'd just be targeting fixtures, to be honest. It does worry me a little bit that Maddison's missing out. That's all I'll say. So I'll see. More likely what's going to happen is Barnes is going to shift down to like a 5.5 and I'll upgrade Ali to Son and maybe bank the other 5.5. The player I'd really like is Chilwell. I'm a bit gutted that he's injured from the start. Like right now, if I look at this, if Chilwell was fit, I would probably do Barnes to set Maximin, Ali to Son, and use the 0.5 to go James to Chilwell. I think 5.5, as you can tell, I'm pretty excited about Chelsea from an FPL point of view. We'll see how long. And they've got Thiago Silva now as well. Yeah, exactly. I could go for Dyer or Davis. I'm not sat here trying to pretend to you that this is the final team, because it's absolutely not, right? With Salah's poor form, let's talk about Salah's poor form. Like, what are we basing this on? When has he been poor? When has he been poor? Like, I feel the thing with Salah is, like, I don't get me wrong. I think if people wanted to go without him, it's probably not the worst opening set of fixtures to miss out, right? Leeds, Chelsea, Arsenal. Probably not the worst time to miss him, but like the guy's basically been in form for 3 years, so I don't know where this he's suddenly out of form thing kind of comes from. Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe I will get it wrong. Maybe it'll be awful. I actually looked at how. What I could do without him. Wasn't really that happy, to be honest. Like, I could swap him to Rashford, for example, and upgrade Barnes to like a Havertz or something, but I wasn't massively up on it, to be honest. So I'd rather just have Salah in, who's been so good to me for so long. Don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button on the stream. Much appreciated. I don't even know how many likes we're up to. We're up to a few, I'm sure. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Quick reminder. There's more money for the league if you hit subscribe. Let's get to 100k. Let's get it done. I'll shut up talking about it. Of course, once we hit 100k, we'll be looking for 1 million. I don't know. I just really quickly, I don't know if anyone follows like Mr. Beast, right? Massive YouTuber. He did a video where he shouted out another smaller YouTuber and told all his subscribers to go and subscribe to them. They got like 1.5 million subscribers in less than 24 hours. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But anyway, that's for a different channel, not FPL. Game week 1 captaincy thoughts. Yeah, I'm going. I think I'm going to Aubameyang at this point. Basically, simple as that. Fulham, job done. I still think they're going to concede plenty of goals. Which 5 million defender is the best in your view? If you're actually spending 5 million, I really like Size still. I just think Wolves so good. Going to be so good. I don't think Doherty and Johnny missing out is going to be that detrimental to them. It does mean a double up potentially with Vinagre, but yeah, decent. Who should I replace Aubameyang with after game week 2? I mean, honestly, I wouldn't worry too much right now about who you're replacing someone with in 2 game weeks' time. FPL changes so quickly, especially at the start of the season. Like, we're all saying Aubameyang to De Bruyne, Aubameyang to Sterling, but I don't know, something massive could happen in between now and then. I wouldn't worry about it. I would not worry about it. Salah, 73 goals in his last 3 Premier League seasons, and still people doubt him. Yeah, he is like, don't get me wrong, he is... his first season for Liverpool was obviously so ridiculous, he had to kind of come down. Like, 32 goals, 12 assists, 44 attacking returns, just insane. He got the same amount of assists the next year, only 10 last year, but still got 19 goals. His expected goal involvement's gone down a little bit each year, so I think it was like 30, then 28, then 26. So he got 29. He's the same amount of big chances in the last 2 years. He just happened to score 3 less. Like, there's literally nothing which makes me doubt Salah at all. Is Mane in better form? I don't know what this is being based on, really. Like a few pre-seasons games. I don't know. It's not that. To be fair, I don't ignore pre-season completely, but I don't know. I mean, go Mane. Like, I don't think I have a strong argument to not go for him, but Salah's been the main man for so long. When they're the same price, I'm always going to lean towards that. Maybe I'll change that on wildcard. I don't know, but the thing is, between those two, nothing really changes for the last season and a bit, really. Salah has more chances. They have a very similar amount of big chances. Salah just shoots more. Salah's usually a little bit more creative, and the numbers show that. But Mane still gets his points. If I had to bet right now who's going to score more points between now and the end of the season, my money would be on Salah every day of the week. It doesn't mean that he'll outscore him every week, but over the season I think he will. So if I think I'm going to have Salah for 7-8 game weeks, I might as well go for the guy who I think is going to score more. I don't know I don't know what more I can say. Like, it's Salah, he's ridiculous, and I probably want to captain him quite a bit after kind of game week 2. What do I think about Pepe for the first 2 game weeks and then swap to Pulisic? I want to come back to that Liverpool crowds question and the super chats. Hang on. I like the thought process of thinking about how to get Pulisic in. If he was fit, he would be in my team right now. What do I think of Pepe? I'm not interested at all. Here's the thing to think about with Arsenal. They played Nketiah in the Community Shield, so Aubameyang played left. We know that's his position now under Arteta, right? There's only one spot for that right-hand side. You've got Saka, you've got Willian, you've got Pepe. There's too many options, so I'm not interested. Maybe Saka, because he seems to be a bit of a favourite of Arteta. Pepe, I got no interest at all. Liverpool seem to miss the crowds. I think Liverpool, one of the teams you cannot really think about after game week 30. There was nothing to play for. They've had that league wrapped up for so long, even before lockdown. Obviously not mathematically, but it was basically wrapped up like in December. So by the time they came with no crowds, there's nothing more to play for. I don't buy the no crowds thing with Liverpool. I think we need to see a lot more. I think all we've seen is game week 30 to 38 with no crowds. I think we need to see a lot more before we start saying it's affecting players. I'm not saying it's not, but for Liverpool, there's nothing to play for at all. That had to be on their mind, right? Like losing 4-0 to Man City in the way they did, I just don't think that would have happened. Really good article previewing all the Premier League teams on StatsBomb. And I read the Liverpool one earlier, and they basically said a very similar thing, that they just had it wrapped up for so long. It was only after they won the league that they started like having like a two goals against them, when it never usually happens, or 2 expected goals, something like that. So I don't know. I don't doubt Liverpool in any way, shape or form. Let's see how they perform. If they perform badly, fine, I'll change my mind. But I don't think it's going to happen. Rohan, thanks very much. Torn between Doherty and Adams or Ings and Davis. I think in that scenario I prefer Ings and Davis, because Ings is going to get the minutes for sure. We saw how good he was last year. Adams, I do think, has got a chance to sort of keep up with Ings. But not enough where in that scenario I'd go Doherty and Adams, because Davis is still going to get the same clean sheets, so you're only relying on attacking returns, and I think Ings will more than make up for that. Gorav, how's it going? Doherty and Son and Mitrovic or Justin, Ali and Ings? Oh, you asked me this the other day, didn't you? I thought I'd give you an answer. I think Doherty, Son and Mitrovic. I'm not really big on Justin. I definitely prefer Son to Ali, and then it's kind of Ings versus Doherty. I mean, Ings is great. But yeah, I think I prefer Doherty, Son and Mitrovic out of those two. Do I have any information about Souček? Not more than anyone else. We'll have to wait and see if he's going to have to... there was something from ex-West Ham employee, but I don't think it was like he's definitely missing out. Mitrovic is so highly owned. Do you think he's the best 6 million striker? Suppose you hold for 3, then reassess. I think with Mitrovic, you're kind of almost saying you're holding him for a bit like long term almost, because the fixtures aren't that good. Arsenal, Leeds, Aston Villa at home is okay, but again, I mean, if you're looking at post lockdown, they were very good defensively. Wolves, Sheffield United, it's not fantastic fixtures. I feel like he's almost being a hold until like game week 8. It's not. The problem is all the options have like some pros, some cons. Adams in a better team, going to score more goals probably, but he's not the main man. He's probably have his minutes managers in terms of, even if he does start, he's going to come off a bit. You got Nketiah at Arsenal. I don't know if I mean, he just scored a hat-trick, so he's for England. I think under 23s or whatever it was. So he is going to be full of confidence, but I don't know if I've seen enough. But the first 2 fixtures are quite good. But after that, how long do you want him for? What about Lacazette? Ayew, just not interested. Rodrigo's not going to start the season, probably. So there's just too many doubts, I think, over the other 6 million. So I can see why people are drawn towards Mitrovic. I'm probably going to go Antonio, I think. I know people hate it, but there we go. Alfred, thanks very much. Van der Beek, Kane, or Green. It's got to be Greenwood and Son. I mean, until we see where Van der Beek plays, not that interested, I don't think. Potential to be a bargain, though, at 7 million. Not saying he's not, that's for sure. Did you see Van Arnold is back in training? I did. Basically, I'll wait and see what Hodgson says in terms of when he's back. Like, if he says he's in contention for game week 1, I probably won't go for Mitchell. I'd probably go for Ferguson, to be honest, and wait till he's fit, and he should be in that side. If I don't need someone for game week 1. If you're benching Man United players, it becomes a little bit trickier. You might even have to upgrade to like a 4.5 or something like that. So yeah, let's just wait and see what Hodgson says. Don't forget, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I think we can get to 80,000 subscribers before this stream ends. We're 128 away. If you're not already, just hit that subscribe button. I'll be around for loads more streams throughout the whole season. Let's do it. Any thoughts on when you'll be using your first chips? Thanks very much, Donovan. No, Honestly, not a clue. Not a clue. I mean, free hit, bench boost, triple captain, probably going to be around double game weeks, right? So I'm not even giving it much thought, to be honest. Then it's wild card, and I like winging the wild card. I mean, you can have a strategy where you just play for 2 weeks, then wild card, but I prefer to wait and see what happens. If I need a wild card after 3 or 4 weeks, I'll use it. If I don't, I'll just hold it for a bit. And because with all this winter break stuff that's going on, it's going to get difficult to manage, I think, at times. So, yeah, I'm basically waiting. I got no reason to use the chips or even think about them right now. Is Kepa a terrible idea? He is. If you're talking about Frank Lampard, he's a terrible idea. Try and get a new keeper. The wild card will be in the back pocket. For anyone who gets that reference, you're an OG. For anyone that doesn't, hit that subscribe button and you'll find out at some point. Another 20 subscribers added on. Come on, 108. Maths is really hard. And also hit that like button. Why not? Why not just hit it? All right? You might as well. Thought my computer had crashed then. That would be a nightmare. Let me see what other questions we have that we've not already answered. Is Saliba an option? Nah, I don't think so. Absolutely no guarantee that he plays. No guarantee that Arsenal play 5 at the back, which would help. You'd think David Luiz would probably play. And then you've got... You would think that David Luiz would play. And then you've got... Gabriel's just signed. There's just too many centre-backs of that team for me to even worry about Saliba. If he'd played in the Community Shield and done really well, I might think about it. But, he'd be great, right? Potentially great. At 4.5 in Arsenal, but I wouldn't go there personally. I'm not going there. When are the price rises? The price rises are basically it depends on whether it's British summertime or not. So I can't remember which way around it goes, but they're usually around between 1 and 2 a.m. I think, or 1 and 4 a.m. And the player can only rise 0.3 in a week, maximum 0.3 basically. Best midfielder at 6.5. If you're feeling risky, it's got to be Foden, right? It's got to be Foden at 6.5. I don't know if I want to go there just yet. I also think Jota as well would be massively overlooked, probably for good reason because there's no guarantee he's going to play. My voice is going. Would not be a good week to lose my voice. Let me have a bit of water. Like Jota could be really good for Wolves given the fixtures, but you just don't know. I don't know. Part of me thinks you just don't know what his minutes are going to be like because opponents are netter. Then I think he is probably one of their best players. Why would he not just play until he's out of form or something? So I don't know. Jota could be an option. Otherwise, I really do think you just go down to like maybe Pereira at West Brom if you really want to take a bit of a punt, or even lower, like 5.5. Dean Garner, West Brom maybe. Anyone else jump on the Dean Garner wagon back in the day? 4.5 million. Can you explain why Kepa is a bad option? Because he's just a bad goalkeeper. 5 million and good fixtures and improved defence. The thing with Chelsea defence is it was quite good anyway last year. The problem was... oh, my voice is really going. Hang on. Yeah, what was I saying? Kepa. The Chelsea defence was actually... oh, my voice is really going. The Chelsea defence was actually quite good, but Kepa was part of the problem why they conceded so many goals, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm interested in the Chelsea defence. I would prefer it if Kepa went or they bought someone else. Sancho coming, though, plus Son, possible rotation. Son's not really a player I would ever worry about rotation with. I mean, he could get rested at some point, but ultimately he's about as nailed on as they get, right? And yeah, okay, if Sancho comes, maybe you change your mind, right? Because Greenwood's not nailed, but he's not here yet, so I wouldn't worry too much until he is. Praveen, thanks very much. You have Werner, Vardy and Kane up front, and in my midfield, Son, Ziyech, Ward-Prowse and Ceballos. And Grealish for the next. Grealish, nice. Hardly anyone's got him. How does that look to you? I mean, it depends. If you're happy to... there's no... like, a few people have asked me about going for, like, Werner, Vardy, Kane up front and not having, like, a Aubameyang or Salah. Like, it's fine. If you're happy... I mean, think about who your captains would be. Like, a lot of people have got Aubameyang for one reason. Captain for the first 2 game weeks, then Man City player. So think about who you want to captain. If you're happy with that, go for it. Yeah, Thiago Silva, 5.5 million. But I think I'd rather save with Chelsea. Maybe... wow. It's going to be bad for tomorrow. Maybe save my third Chelsea spot Wait and see who I need, whether it's another attacker or a defender or whatever. Telling you guys, Jordan Henderson is a bargain. Dave Harris, thanks very much. Vinagre we've spoken about quite a bit. My thinking is there's enough upside where I still want to play him. Right? Yeah, I think Grealish is on his bench basically. That's what he means. Opinions on Calvert-Lewin. There you go. There's a player that's doing all right in pre-season, right? Hasn't he scored 2 goals now? Calvert-Lewin really depends, again, how much weight do you put on post-lockdown or not. His overall season numbers, right, are good, if you like stats, right? Expected goals per 90. I've talked about this already. 0.5, right? That's the same as Ings. It's slightly higher than Jimenez for last year. There was a time last year when he was almost considered essential, right? And everyone's forgotten about that because Everton didn't do very well from 30 to 38. And they had some okay fixtures in that time, right? They also had some tricky fixtures. They also had nothing to play for. They also didn't have James Rodriguez and Allen and maybe Decore as well, which is a pretty good midfield if it works. So I like him. I think after Spurs, the next 3 fixtures are good. If it doesn't work out, I'll sell him on. And 7 million, don't get me wrong, is an annoying price point. Like if he was 6.5... If he was 6.5, you'd probably be nailed in my team, to be honest. 7 million is a bit annoying, but I can go to anyone else then that's 6.5 or less. So I think I'm okay with him. I think I quite like him. That's why I think the midfielders they've added are good. They've still got Ancelotti there, by the way. Great manager. They didn't have much to play for after game week 30 either. So I don't know. I just think the fixtures are there. Let me just remind myself. It's like West Brom, Crystal Palace, and Brighton. Oh, it's decent enough. So I quite like him. Pravi, Wolves just signed Marcel. Vinagre won't play. We've spoken about that a lot. I don't think that's necessarily true. It could happen, but I don't know for definite. What site do I check for advanced stats? I use Fantasy Football Scout. Disclaimer, I work for Fantasy Football Scout. Other disclaimer, I've always used Fantasy Football Scout even before I worked for them. But just for no ambiguity, I do work there, but it is what I use and what I have used for years. So that's where I get them from most of the time. I'm okay with Calvert-Lewin, but there is a starting risk. Is there, do you think? What do you think the risk is? I mean, surely it's not going to be Richarlison up front on his own, right? So it's going to be over Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin, or Calvert-Lewin moves wide. Like, Moise Kean? Don't see it. But let me know what the issue is, I guess. Can you help me? I'm stuck between Ings and Mitrovic or Jimenez and Adams. I mean, you could have Ings and Adams. I prefer Ings to Jimenez for the first few. Do I like pizza? Yes, of course. I've got loads of Milano's vouchers. Probably going to go there next weekend. What source do you use for odds? I don't really, to be honest. Yeah, Calvert-Lewin being completely nailed. That's kind of my thoughts too. Who will be this season's surprise star and why? Do you know me? I'll be surprised that I'm not going to get hacked, hopefully. Oh, God. Not going to get hacked. Let's hopefully not. Ancelotti said he has the potential to be one of the best stars in Europe. I mean, I don't think he's not nailed anyway, but I mean, obviously, managers always talk their players up. I mean, that is a pretty big thing to say. Don't forget, hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button as well. We are now 86 away from 80,000 subscribers. Come on, get me to that in the next 10, 15 minutes. If you haven't hit that button, you're watching this, you're thinking, Andy, I love these streams. I love the videos. Just hit that button. What about Grealish? He's dreamy. I mean, the calves. Yeah, I see what you mean. Goodmanson at 5.5 will be in my team at some point. He was actually on my cheap midfielders video. He's just so unexciting, isn't it? A Burnley attacker. But there you go. Could be okay. Very boring, but tick over nicely. You're currently having pizza and watching the stream. That is the dream. Do you think Havertz would be a good pick? I think he's priced to a point where you could take a punt on him. The thing with Chelsea is like press conferences are always key, but let's see what he says about the new players. Are they fit? Like we know that Werner has been playing. Ziyech got injured, but should be okay. We'll have to wait and see the news on that. And Havertz, is he going to be fit and available? If he is, he could be decent. You love the stream, not the shirt. Don't hold it against me. Don't hold it against me. As everyone will tell you in the chat, I'm not biased towards Man United at all. So there you go. Thoughts on Bellerin at 5 million? I mean, is he definitely going to start? Like if Maitland-Niles is still there, If we could get the Bellerin of old, 5 million would be an absolute bargain. But are Arsenal any good defensively? Is he going to be as attacking? Is Maitland-Niles going to take minutes? It's all a bit of a worry for me. So there's lots of £5 million defenders that could be amazing this year. And there's a few question marks around it. Wow, Gaurav, that is ridiculous. I don't even know what the pink means, but that isn't something we see very often. So thanks very much for that. Thank you for all you do for the community. Good luck this season. Keep up the good work. One bit of advice from me. Downgrade Lamptey to Sturridge and keep the 0.5 to upgrade Barnes to Greenwood. Everyone loving the Man United players. Yeah, I mean, Sturridge's not going to start though, is he? And then I'd have two £4 million defenders on the bench. I can't do it. I can't do it. But thanks very much, Gaurav. Much appreciated. So yeah, I think if anything, I would just change. Do I have 0.5 in the bank actually? No. I'd probably just change Lamptey to a different player, maybe. Just biased towards Maguire's head. Yeah. Talks of Bellerin leaving. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything in that, but yeah, potentially. If Louise was 4.5 million, would he be in your team? Maybe. Yeah, the fixtures are quite good for Arsenal to start. I still don't think they're necessarily that great defensively, but for the fixtures they got, it could be good. Could be very good indeed. Oh, excuse me. Drinking on the job. We are now, I'm still looking, 69 away from hitting 80,000 subscribers. Come on, 80,000. 80,000. Ridiculous numbers, by the way. And me, this idiot, you're watching on screen right now. Nearly 80,000 subscribers. How the hell did this happen? I don't get it. Moobsy, hello. Thanks. James Nailed, nope. Yeah, Ali could be a starter, yeah. Ali will be a starter, I'd say. Tierney is the only nailed-on starter in Arsenal's back line. Yeah, I just think 5.5 million, I've seen him in a few teams, and I get the excitement around him. I feel like it's too expensive. Honestly, I'd be holding out for Chilwell, I think. Jared Bowen is a Game Week 1 punt to placehold for Mason. I think targeting Newcastle in Game Week 1 is a perfectly fine punt, basically. How much is it? He's 6.5, right? The thing is, for that kind of price, I do think there's genuinely not that many options. Yeah, he's 6.5. So yeah, I quite like Bowen as an option, yeah. Newcastle good. Just similarly, actually, having Newcastle players might be good to target West Ham too. There could be goals in that one. Is the channel now too big to talk about club bars? No. Do you know what? They had club bars in the shop the other day, but they are not the same. Right? I'm going to have to buy some and tweet about it. They're not the same. They've got the name club on them, but I don't remember these kind of biscuits. They're not the same. They did have gold bars, though. Gold bars are also very good lunchbox chocolate bar. Big fan of the old gold bars. Moosey, thanks very much. I think if you're trying to ask a question, and by the way, this is not me that set it, I think you can only type in a question if you do like €2 or £2 or above. I think if you do less, it's just like it just highlights it. That's nothing I've set. That's what YouTube have set it at. Yeah, I think these streams, like obviously, the streams have changed, right? I used to do rate my teams. I don't. my throat honestly is killing. Yeah, the streams have changed a bit in terms of what I do, right? And obviously the chat's so quick now, I can't get to everyone, and that kind of sucks. But hopefully they're still enjoyable to watch. That's the playoff, right? You get more people, you have to answer a smaller percentage of the people that are watching. But in terms of like going off on tangents, yeah, this is just a stream. Like the more, I wouldn't even call my stuff serious anyway. But the more serious stuff, so the team selection, the game week preview, I'll have extra videos. But streams, like they're supposed to be a bit more relaxed. Like I will go off on tangents and talk rubbish. And if people don't like it, that's fine. There's other people doing streams that'll be a bit more serious, staying on track and stuff. But when I watch streams, I like it when people go off on tangents. I think it just makes it more interesting. And I've always done that. So why would I change? Why would we change, you know? But anyway, we're not at 80,000 subscribers yet, so we can still do it. We're at 42 away. Come on, 42. Vincent Guts. Remember, by the way, more money. You hit subscribe. That's what you got to do. Join the league. Show us how good you are. Win 500 quid. Vincent Gut. Barnes Havertz or Barnes Ings or Ziyech Ings. Barnes and Havertz or Barnes and Ings or Ziyech and Ings. If Ziyech is fit, I like Ziyech and Ings. Yeah, Ziyech and Ings. Because you still get Chelsea covered. There's nothing to say that Havertz will be much better than Ziyech. We'll have to wait and see. And Ings versus Barnes. Yeah, definitely prefer Ings. Should have bought some Hull soothers. I know. I've been wondering if I'd ever get issues with like throat, talking so much every single day. Is joining my league free? It is free. I'm glad you asked. So, there's the league code. In the description, not only is there a league code, there's also an auto-join link. So if you click that, it'll auto-join you up as long as you're signed into FPL. And look what can happen if we hit 100k subscribers. It's on, I'm telling you. I'm glad I didn't add any extra zeros to that screenshot by mistake. That'd be a nightmare. Imagine people, yeah, it's the end of the season now. Where's my £5,000? Also, I did pounds, even though I'm a Euro man who live in an island. But yeah, whatever. What do I think of Podence? I've talked about Podence and Neto a little bit. I like either of them if they play. There's no guarantee they're going to play. That's the problem. The 80,000 subscribers should get a signed pack of biscuits. That would be nice, wouldn't it? It's not happening though. You just do it for helping me out. 28 more to go. 28 more subscribers. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Come on. I'm guessing we've talked about the Wolves' new left back. We have quite a lot. Yeah, I'd say that's the number one trending. If we had trending topics in the chat, that would be the trending topic. That'd actually be good, right? If YouTube had a way to like basically do trending stuff in the chat. So if I could like click a button and put Wolves left back, and then talk about it, and then anytime someone mentioned it in the chat, it would automatically come up. You could click on it. You could go back and listen to what I've said about it. Declan Rice to score more this season, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't be going. I don't mind West Ham attackers for the first couple of game weeks, but outside of that, I wouldn't be going near West Ham defence or anything. Are you not afraid that some people will copy paste your team? Where's the? If people do that, I don't care. No, because I don't always make. I mean, with deadline streams, everyone's going to know the transfers, I guess, but I don't always make the same transfers as what I talk about, and that's not me like, pretending to do one thing and doing a different thing. It's just, I'm like any other FPL manager, and we sometimes, change our minds. Like if someone really wants to copy and paste a team, like where's the fun of that? Go and look at my ranks. I've only finished in the top 5k once. Like if that's what you want, copy it, I guess. But maybe this year will be my year. But I don't know. It wasn't last year, so I don't particularly care. What can I do about it? Like half the love of these FPL channels is showing your team the journey, the pain, the misery, the joy, the sunglasses. That's what we're waiting for. Who's your must-have from Man United? No one's must-have from Man United. I'd probably, if I could just go for anyone now, just put him in my team. Obviously, Fernandes would be great for the money, but I do like Rashford for $1 million less. Why would you copy Andy? Exactly. What's my thoughts on Jimenez and Ings? I mean, general brief thoughts, right? I think Jimenez you can go without for the first two. Let's see how good Sheffield United still are defensively. Then it's Man City. Not many points to be had there. And then the fixtures are really good, so I quite like him. I prefer Ings to start with. 8.5, I'm struggling to fit them in. But obviously there are ways. You have cheaper midfield, you put more up front. So Ings versus other 8.5 midfielders, maybe he is okay. Versus Ali, versus Ziyech, I don't see an issue with that. But the reason I've not really looked at him is because I prefer the cheaper forwards to the cheaper midfielders. So it's easier to put money in midfield and cheapen the forward line, which is basically why I've not really looked at him. I don't think he's a bad option, but that's why I've not been looking at him. We're 4 subscribers away from 80,000. I do promise that on most of my streams I won't be constantly talking about subscribers, even though I definitely will. So help me out. 60 FPS. No, we're in 30 FPS because my internet sucks. So we're in 720, 30 FPS, but it's just an FPL screen. You don't need to see this face in high definition. Thoughts on Onamar? 5 million from Fulham. I have got no interest in Fulham players outside of maybe the goalkeeper and Mitrovic. There's just not enough upside. Let me refresh. We must be on 80,000 now. Boom! 80,002. Thank you very much to everyone that subscribed. What a lovely way to get towards the end of the stream. Just 20,000 away from 100,000. 6 figures. Ridiculous. Honestly, ridiculous. Thanks very much. Hit that like button if you haven't already. There's like 2,000 people watching. Just hit that like button. Why not? Okay, I think... but the play wasn't to hit 80,000 then leave, but we are basically coming up to the end of the stream anyway. One thing I need to do is shout out all the Patreon people, Patreon supporters. So one thing I didn't think about was where I put my cam on here when I made the wall bigger. But if you want to support the channel and stuff on Patreon, just click that link in the description below. There's Slack channels, there's WhatsApp, there's extra content on there. There's like a Q&A every Friday now as well. So there'll be a Q&A on Friday before the deadline, which is obviously a little bit more focused than maybe some of the streams and stuff are. But this is the shout out for all the patrons that's going to happen on every single stream. So I've got a couple of walls because there's so many patrons. And obviously, I'll add more. The more we need, the more walls we need, the more walls we'll do. So I'll give a shout out at the end of every stream. So thanks very much to everyone that's signed up. I'll look at putting my webcam on there at some point because it makes more sense. But that is all the patrons that are currently signed up. So if you want to join the club, hit that button. There's a link in the description, basically. So thanks very much to everyone that's supporting. You can go and watch all the Q&As that I've done so far this pre-season. There'll be another one next Friday, and then regular content throughout the season. Slack is awesome. So much chatting there as well. So thanks to everyone that's signed up. All right, I'm going to leave it there because we're basically up to the hour mark anyway. That's usually when I finish. In terms of content, another video tomorrow, another video Tuesday, another video Wednesday, another video Thursday, I think. Stream on Thursday, deadline stream on Saturday. The deadline stream is going to be ridiculous. Not going to be able to keep up. Let's see if we can break some records. Thanks very much for the 80,000. Thanks for all the likes. Much appreciated. Thanks for all the donations. Like, Gorath is still on there. Gorath is still on the page. So thanks very much for that. And to everyone else that put in a super chat tonight. Much appreciated. It's good to be back. I've missed talking with you lot. Amazing to think this time next week we'll all be complaining about our team. Oh, absolutely. I can't wait for it. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much. Patreon links are in the description below. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Let's hit that on 100k before Game Week 1 deadline, which would be ridiculous. I'll catch you later. Cheers.